The looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when.
Prayed, and I'm like, God, no matter what it is, give me. They don't want us to succeed.
Black Lives Matter all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Greetings, Edgar Vibes, y'all. Welcome back to the Leon Block. I'm your guy, Jontel, joined with our co-host, Meg. How you doing tonight, Meg?
I'm great. How are you, love?
I can't complain. Same day, new attitude.
Yes. Higher vibrations, of course. Elevations. Manifestations.
Yeah, I fucking love you. Shit. We've got a loaded show for y'all. Look, as y'all know, we are going to talk about a little bit again about Ricardo Munoz and give y'all the rest of the interview from the part 2 from the interview. However, you can check it out on our Spotify podcast. I gotta plug that in. So before we get to that though, we do want to talk about some news going on. For one, I'm sure by now y'all have heard
The Queen has passed away, everybody.
That's right. Maybe I deleted the article, but yeah, the Queen has passed away. And look, I don't care.
Thank you. I second that motion.
Yeah, no, to be quite honest, I don't care. I'm pretty sure she died last year.
Oh shit.
I'm just saying. Speaking of, I know Dave Moon TV wanted to talk about that. Let me tag him really quick. Because look, I want to know what his thoughts are. He is in a country that is a Commonwealth country, so he does have to answer to the monarchy. We don't. So, of course, naturally, we don't care. However, I still think that there's a lot that we're missing that people don't care about, but I think it is something we should talk about. Like this colonial capitalist system was built from England, right? Why are people so upset at the fact that she died? She was old. First of all, she's supposed to die. Second of all, she's had a tight grip on the world, in a sense, for a very long time. Who the fuck cares? Let me see. Dave Moon. What you want to show, brother? Talk about the Queen real quick while we wait for Dave Moon to jump on the webisode. I want to turn to this. Michigan Supreme Court rules abortion voting rights proposals to be on November ballot. Voters in Michigan will get to decide in November if abortion will be legal in the state. I'm going to go ahead and put this article in the comments. So if y'all want to check it out, y'all can read it there via the via the YouTube page. Y'all can tell my mind is just jacked tonight. Don't mind me. But I just wanted to shed light on that because this is still an ongoing thing. States are still, state by state, doing their thing when it comes to just putting the clamp down on people's rights. Just saying.
Right. It's crazy. The things the world can determine for us.
Things our government wants to determine for us specifically.
Right. 100%. I seen an article today for Lancaster, stating something about abortion, a clinic that's going to be still performing abortions.
Oh goodness. It's just sad, like that. This is what we're coming to. That all these different things are happening because of.
Right. It's so, what's crazy, like that if a woman is, if the baby dies while in utero, and
that woman could risk dying, and she still has to die.
I mean, yep. That's going like a little too far in my opinion, because I've had friends like that the baby died during pregnancy. Could you imagine like having to, still wait till your delivery date, like knowing that you have like a dead baby inside of you? Like that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just really cruel and unusual punishment in my opinion.
But this is a way to control more than half of the population.
100%.
Along with a bunch of other things. This is like, superiority complex.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. White, rich, old men.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Soup, our comrade, friend to the Leon Block and alliance partner, broke the news from yesterday that there has been a shooting at the Uvalde Memorial Park. And to avoid the area, I can't find the information now, but I will post it to the Leon Block there that they did find it. It was I believe, a young black kid, and naturally the racist comments ensued. So I just want to warn people about that. Actually, let me go ahead and put the link to that in the comments as well, so y'all can get more on that situation. I'm a little late to the party today. Don't mind me.
And Uvalde just started school this week. I was reading about this little boy like going back to school for the first time since the shooting. It's always something.
For real. Like, look, this is just a tiny piece of the news that's out there today. It's just that we don't have the time today to go through all the different stories. I don't even have the time to go through and put the articles on the Leon Block Facebook page for y'all like I normally would. That's how much news is going down right now. Lately.
Yeah, it's been consistent all day today for sure.
And everyone wants to talk about the Queen instead. They knew what they were doing, dropping this news at the right time. They waited. I'm not even joking.
Yep. To, for people not to worry about, what's really happening in the world, for them just to like worry about the Queen.
Exactly. It's exactly what they want. All right, so in Cleveland, the Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority has released body-worn camera footage from the fatal officer involved shooting Monday on the city's west side. The incident remains under investigation by Cleveland police. And Malik Roquemore, 32 of Cleveland, is identified as the suspect who was shot after allegedly attacking a CMHA officer in the early morning. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Apparently, an officer was responding to a call for loud music at Riverside Park on the city's west side when he was flagged down by the suspect, a 33-year-old man. Once the officer got out of his cruiser, he was allegedly attacked by the suspect. The officer tried using a taser in order ordered the suspect to stop, but the suspect allegedly kept attacking the officer. The officer fired his gun, and the suspect was shot twice.
Wow. I'd like to see the body cam footage on that.
Yeah.
Did they release the officer's name, I wonder?
Let me look back and check here. No, it's just the chief of public safety director that spoke on this. No one else.
So the spokesperson.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Interesting.
Smells like a bit of a cover up to me.
Yeah, so he's being protected by the police union.
Good old FOP.
Right. As usual.
This
That was
is
in England. Ugh.
Yes. Still, like, look, it's everywhere. It ain't just in the US. Like, open up your eyes. No
Exactly.
firearm was found at the scene of a rare fatal police shooting in England.
Are they ever though? I mean, unless they're planted or, you know, I don't know. I question, if things get planted
For real.
by
All the
our
time.
lovely police departments across the world.
It's crazy. His name was Chris Kaba, y'all. Black man shot dead by police in South London this week. He was 24 years old after he was shot following a Metro police car chase on Monday evening. Armed police attempted to stop the vehicle, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter if he was being chased. Why did you kill him? It's crazy. It doesn't end, y'all.
Right. Like, you can't even go outside being, like, black or brown these days. It's so sad.
This is where we are. Dave Moon TV, I'm not sure where he's at, but we're going to keep it moving with the stories. This one is woman's murder caught on security camera as gunman chases her down
were captured on
a
home
street.
security cameras. You can see
This is so sad.
life as the gunman keeps firing. We do want to warn you, this video, it's tough to watch. Right in the middle of the day on Rhode Island Avenue near John R. and Highland Park. The video shows the blue SUV pulling up. A man quickly jumps out of the passenger side, firing shots at K1 Taylor, who was just walking down the street. She screams, running into a backyard. The gunman close behind keeps firing until K1 is dead. We're told she lives just a few houses down from where the shooting happened. It's a route she walks often. And by the looks of the video, the gunman knew who he was after. Police tell Fox 2 no one else was hurt in the barrage of gunfire, but an elderly woman's window was shot out. We talk with friends of K1 who says she's a good person and they can't understand who would do this. Michigan State Police have taken over the investigation. We checked in with them Thursday, and since this happened last Friday, they have not been able to develop a motive, and there's no suspects either. The shooter is still on the loose. Unfortunately, that security footage is pretty grainy, but there was that blue SUV at the scene. If you know anything about this homicide, call police right away. Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Very interesting last name. So as you know, this is common for us to witness not just police brutality, but also gun violence, not just in inner cities, but all over the country, with the onslaught of gun rights changing and expanding, and mass shootings expanding. We'll get to that in a moment. Well, we already did, but even more in a little bit. It's like, what do we expect? People are outraged, but at the same time, people are just being normalized to this. And I think we're not getting anywhere. What say you, Meg?
I think that this happens way too often, and it's definitely becoming normalized for a lot of us.
Yeah.
But I think the more that we talk about it and really bring people's, attention to the,
Right.
The families, and, that it's directly impacting a lot more than just the one individual. And then there's no causation for justification, of these officers. I mean, my hope and prayer is that, people get tired of hearing about it. People get fed up and they, want to do something about it, to stand up for themselves, their community, their loved ones. And that's what we're here for.
That's right. Welcome to the Leon Block friend and comrade Dave Moon TV. Thank you for being here, friend.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to join you guys on your show again. Always a lovely time talking to you two.
Yes.
Meg,
So tonight,
Jontel.
tonight, we are running through a couple of news articles. You're free to comment once we get into it. But the main reason I wanted to bring you on for a minute was to talk about the Queen and your feelings about the whole situation, especially being someone from Canada. So real quick, I just want to show this because it's really important. There was another, and I think you did get wind of this, Dave. This was a shooting that took place.
In Illinois, it looks like this evening.
Yes, I got a memo about it from somebody.
And now, do we know if the victim is deceased? I hadn't heard.
Neither have I. And that's the city of Zion, Illinois.
Mount Zion, Illinois, I believe.
And this incident is involving a police officer?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently they shot a black guy. Hey, George, hold my line. That's all I know so far.
And we don't know about body cam footage. You know how I roll.
Stand on you?
Now, hopefully,
Gotcha.
One of the cameramen or someone they asked can give us some more information.
Well, you know how the law works. We just have to wait until it becomes public record, and we just keep demanding to see these things, or the family will most likely. Prayers and thoughts to the family. I guess this is where in the movement everybody says I don't want to say another motherfucking name. Right. Because we're hearing this daily, weekly.
Yep.
Weekends are really bad in certain cities.
Yeah.
But I don't want to end my live because I got too many people on. Let's see if I hold my live. I'll just start over. I'll be live on the scene. And again, we're on the 29th block of Gabriel, Zion, Illinois. It was a shooting, police-involved shooting. Young man is, from what I'm understanding, he is deceased. I don't know if that's a fact or not. But I'll be live back in another 10 minutes. Stay right here. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'll be right back. All right? Stay with me.
So that's the same one. So maybe he did not go live again. But here's the original video. I will share that to the Leon block now. So y'all have that on. I'll just share it here and I'll share it there later. But police involved shooting involving a black man. That's all we know so far. We will keep you posted on that information. What's the other one here? There was a mass shooting in Memphis. We had talked about that a little bit, that, it's apparently a young black man. There's been lots of racist comments being made, per usual. What do we expect? But really quick, because we do have to go ahead and air footage of the interview with Rulennis Munoz, sister of Ricardo Munoz, here in Lancaster, PA. 2020, September 13th of 2020, was shot and killed by Lancaster City Police after going through mental health crisis. And so, that story is near and dear to us here at the Leon Block, and we want to make sure that it gets properly highlighted. However, the Queen of England just had to rub her dirty nose in the business and had to be star of the show. So Dave, I wanted to talk to you quick about your feelings about, the Queen's death and what it means to people like you, Indigenous people of Canada, and just like colonialism in general, whatever you want to go on, but you got the floor.
Hello, welcome to Dave Moon TV. I'm David Allen Moon in Cothet territory, Qathet. It's a indigenous word from the Comox people, Comox, just across the what used to be called the Juan de Fuca Strait is now called the Salish Sea. The word means working together. So I'm in Kothet territory. Today is a very emotional day for Indigenous people around the world. Mixed emotions. I'm getting reports of people sending their thoughts and prayers to the fallen Queen Elizabeth II, and at the same time, I'm getting the exact opposite in very disrespectful memes and comments towards the Queen. I have my own opinions about it, but I don't think it's a good night or a place for me to talk about that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that the emotions are very thick, and there's different sides of opinions. There's a lot of people fighting, a lot of lateral violence, I'm afraid, and I've explained that before. If you guys need me to explain it again, it's basically a tribal member mistreating another tribal member in different ways. So there's, like I said, there's differences of opinion in regards to the Queen passing away. There is a lot of investigating going on. So if you guys haven't heard, there has been a few thousand unmarked graves discovered outside of residential schools. First was the Kamloops area. There's a residential school there, and there was a few scattered all over the province of so-called British Columbia and other places in Canada. There are reports of unmarked graves being found outside of schools in the United States. So this is another evil culture that's being discovered, and because a lot of us are no offense, being rude on the internet, good riddance, that kind of thing. We have a big bone to pick with the colonial United Kingdom government.
Yeah, as you should. As you should.
And like I said, it's a very emotional day. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. But if you look on David Allen Moon's profile on Facebook, you'll see some of the stuff that I've encountered from Indigenous and non-Indigenous people within Canada. So we're also getting mixed emotions from the non-Indigenous people that live in Canada. What we're looking at here is we're looking at justice, just like you guys are looking for justice for victims down in the United States.
That's right.
Any type of suffering, any type of unlawful acts towards another human being must be justified. And if it sounds like we're disrespecting somebody, then that's their problem. They can perceive that as Dave Moon TV being rude and obnoxious and disrespectful. Well, I have a few reasons to be.
Yeah.
But I'll convert that into demanding justice and law reform and all the other stuff I've been talking about.
Yes.
Sustaining food sources, education, access for all peoples, not just Indigenous people, everybody that's below the poverty line, especially.
That's right. You know, I think this is and that's what I was trying to get at, that this is a good reminder to everyone to remind ourselves of where the rest of the world is. This is not a disrespect to someone's passing, more or less a lesson to be had about where we still are in the state of the world in general. How many people are still suffering? How many people are still subordinate as groups of people? You know, majority of the world, majority of the Black and brown people of the world specifically. And I think that largely the Black and brown populations of the world are, some people are rejoicing. Like I heard Northern Ireland is popping off fireworks. But there are a lot of places that are just, I would say, either relieved or don't care or a mixture of both. I, for one, it's a mixture of both for me. And I'm an American. I'm a Black American. So like for a lot of Black Americans, they could care less. It has no bearing on our lives and no association to them, you know. But for quote unquote woke people, it has a lot of meaning, symbolic meaning. I just kind of wonder where we go from here. Like we know who's taking the throne, but it's like, how is that person? How is he going to rule? What kind of leader, quote unquote, is he going to be? I hate using that word, but like, how is history going to change from here on out? You know, because all of us and generations before us have been known to have a woman, quote unquote, in power, ruling the world or whatever. I'm just curious to see where this goes. You know. So this was something that I personally wanted to bring up. It's not something I want to highlight on or stick on or dwell on too much, but I did want to bring in the fact of how many people I feel the monarchy has harmed over the past 70 years at least. I want people to think about that. Even think about Princess Diana, because that's shady as fuck, and that's a whole nother episode in itself. But that speaks volumes itself. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. We're gonna have to get out of here, Dave, because we do have the Ricardo Munoz episode that we want to air. But I wanted to ask, are you relieved, or are you don't care, or is it both for you?
I'll end the show with saying that I sense, I don't want to say this because there's been people using this word. I feel a sense of freedom for the indigenous people around the world. I feel that a lot of them don't know what to say because we have our own sovereign nations that we're creating. We're trying to create our own self-governments. It's a working process. We're all sort of interested to see where the Commonwealth goes from here, if they lawfully set us free, so to speak. I hate that word, freedom. Somebody's hijacked that. They've hijacked the flag of Canada. But where do we go from here? What type of person is the king going to be towards his servants?
Right.
Which I have it on my birth certificate that I'm endorsed to be a servant to the Queen from my birth. As soon as I hit my a breath of my first fresh air, and yeah, I'm very, very, I'm looking forward to change for tomorrow, because this is actually gonna weaponize you friends out there that are comrades that are standing up for human rights, because we're gonna expect what we've been demanding over these years, since the George Floyd death, since the death of my brother Frank. This is a opening of the light, so to speak. We're going to see where this goes. Is self-government going to work? Are we going to get out of the darkness and realize that we are all free? I hate that word, but we have the freedom to make Turtle Island better. And I appreciate talking to you guys, Meg, and all the comrades, because that's all you guys do all day is exposing the truth, exposing what the government's doing wrong, and demanding change and reform. So you're already engineering, you're representing indirectly indigenous people around the world as well, because I heard you talk about that earlier.
Yeah, it's important. We have to be a unit. We have to make sure that we're making these important connections and sharing our information with one another. That is the most crucial thing, is that we're sharing what we know with one another.
That's correct. And that's what I'm here to help you with, is sort of get the Canadian perspective of what's going on up here and I'm getting the American perspective from you down there without the politics and the hidden agendas and the paid advertisements. You're the real thing, man. You're the real media to me.
Exactly. That is exactly it. And we tout ourselves as such. Yo, Damon, we got to get out of here.
Thank you.
Start our podcast. Appreciate you for being on the show. We will see you soon.
Awesome, man. Power to the people.
All power to the people.
Dave. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Meg.
All right, y'all. We are about to get into part 2 of the interview with Rulennis Munoz, sister of Ricardo Munoz, the young man that was killed by Lancaster City Police in 2020. And she speaks to the Leon Block about her brother's life, mental health, and what we need to do about it. So remember, this is the second half of the interview.
I remember when I was in middle school, first of all, I did not grow up over here. I grew up in New Jersey. But when I was in middle school, my back was hurting because of all the books I had to carry home because I had homework to do. Over here in Lancaster, they don't give homework. And I've experienced that and I've witnessed it. I even thought that she was lying until we actually called the school and spoke to her teacher. And she also told us. Because I could not believe it. That is just weird to me.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, how do you not give homework? That's also part of discipline. You have to do your homework. You have to clean your room. You have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But then again, they're not giving that to them. They don't care. They don't care about their future. And that's how I see it. And to this day, I refuse to live in Lancaster City. I still reside in Lancaster, but not in the city because they are not educating their kids the way that they're supposed to.
Right.
They're not. My son was in kindergarten, and he even had homework. In kindergarten, and he had homework. They don't care.
Nope.
They don't care.
Right.
And that is just crazy. But then they want to judge us and how we live. But did you guys teach us the right way? Did you guys give our parents the right education for them to treat us the right way? It is insane.
Pipeline. It's like they're prepping us to go to prison at an early age. That's what.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense, especially right now. Instead of them helping the veterans that are there sleeping in all these sidewalks
they don't
and everything like that.
They want to use and abuse them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's insane. Instead of them helping the veterans, instead of them building a place for the veterans that took an oath for this country and fought for us.
Yep.
They want to build more prisons. It doesn't make sense. It's like we're here in this life to fail. If you don't have money or have no connection, you are set to fail.
Yeah.
Because any little thing you do, you're criminalized. Especially if you're of color. It doesn't even matter if you have a weapon. You will still get shot and killed. You get lit up. But the ones that are white, for example, that guy, I even forgot his name, that had a rifle and that shot up. What did that happen?
There's many of them that were shooting stuff up and had a rifle. You got to be specific, homie.
No, the one that supposedly he was protecting his store that he worked in.
Are you talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, the little boy?
Yes. Oh my God, him. And then there's a video of him actually walking by cops with a fucking rifle, and they did not do anything.
He has a video game now.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you, fam. He has a
That's
freaking
disgusting.
video. I know where
That's disgusting.
he shoots turkeys that say fake news.
That's disgusting.
It is very disgusting.
This is
America.
This is what we are now. This is disgusting.
America. Yep.
We are disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm including myself as well because I live here.
I'm part of it. Yes. No. I
It's
totally
disgusting.
feel you. Yeah.
It's disgusting. I don't want to live in this type of world or society.
No.
I do not. And it's crazy because I don't understand why people are okay to live like that. And the people that are in power, they see this shit happening. I don't understand why they don't do nothing about it. I don't understand. And I think that's what's also making me fucking feel fucking crazy. Because I don't fucking understand. I try to live my life the best way as I can. And as nice as I can. I do to you as you want me to. I do to others as I want them to do to me.
That's right.
I just don't understand how others, once they become into power, I don't know if it's the power trip or they feel like they could own something or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's some bullshit. It's some bullshit. There's nothing in the Bible that agrees with that bullshit. Nothing at all. Nothing at all in the Bible that agrees with that shit. There's nothing saying, oh, police could kill. There's nothing in the fucking Bible that says police could kill somebody and it'll be okay. No, it says killing is not okay. Period.
As we've seen, there's two different types of Christians in this country. The ones that hold AK-47s and the ones that actually love thy neighbor. They love the sinner, you know. There's two different kinds in this country, and it's sad to say it, but with all the stuff with the Supreme Court, it's kind of like one kind of Christian is winning, and I really believe in like keeping stuff separate, and it's all taken over.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm confused. How is there two different Christians?
Because there's the kind of Christians that don't actually practice Christianity.
Then they're not Christians. Then they're not Christians. Exactly. So there's no two different types of Christians.
Right.
It's just you're just a fake person. You are just. I don't even know exactly what to say because I don't really know a lot about the Bible, but all I know for a fact, there's nothing in the Bible that says killing is okay, no matter who the hell you are. Mm-hmm. And that for it to be justified. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know. Because there's no answer to this, right? Like there's no answer, there's no clear-cut solution. Right now it's a matter of assessing and stating the obvious because there's a lot of people that don't speak up about this. There's a lot of people who don't know how to speak up. And I personally feel like someone like you are one of the perfect kind of people that know a kind of feeling that not all of us have experienced. And I think, no one wants to feel the kind of feelings that I personally have witnessed, and meeting so many other families like yourself that have been through similar situations, especially ones with mental health surrounding it. It's important that these stories get shown, whether we're simply just can't hear me. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yo. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
You broke up
I
just a
need
little
to
bit,
stop
but I can hear you.
No, well, you broke up just a little bit. But before that, I need to stop you because we were talking about Christian and Christianity and all that.
Yeah,
That
go ahead.
reminded me of the role um word, if I'm not mistaken, that's how it's called. With the
Break it up a
shit that's
bit.
going on right now.
Say that again.
When we were talking about Christianity.
Yeah.
And how there's nothing in the Bible that says killing is okay, no matter who it is. There's also that also reminds me of the Roe versus Bird with the
Roe
abortion
versus
shit.
Wade? Yes.
Wait,
yes.
I'm sorry. Wait. So people, one of the issues for that was the Bible. The Bible says exactly. I don't know what it says, but it's talking about that. So if they're using the Bible as a reason to do this to females, why can they also use the Bible to stop killing each other?
Agree.
And that's also what doesn't make sense to me. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. They use the Bible and they use anything that they can to assert what they're saying. And it's just like bullshit. It's so bullshit. We live, this is America, the home of the free, but we're not actually free. We are not free.
We're not. And I say this all the time.
They're judging us. They're killing us just because of our color. And at the end of the day, KKK still exists.
Talk about it. Some of them wear uniforms.
And exactly. And that's
whether it's a doctor's coat or whether it's a fire coat or whether it's a police uniform, they wearing some kind of uniform.
Yes, and it's been there's news about it. Not the other day, a cop from I think Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. I sent you the video of I forgot who it was. He admitted killing 13 people over racist situations just because they were of color. These are the people.
Hello?
I'm not a cop, but there is some weird ass training when you become a cop that they make you, that they put that in your head.
Yeah.
That these are the people that are your enemies. Yep. And that you need to target them no matter what. But then the people are not your enemy because they are like you. They are like us. Not us. Right. I'm talking about them. And they don't target them the same way they target the colors.
Yep.
It's just, but everybody realizes it and everybody sees it, but no one's doing nothing about it.
Right. There's this, I think it was in Wisconsin. There was this family that was looking for, they was looking to buy a house. They were like a biracial family, but they were both of color. I think it was like a Hispanic woman and a black man, and they had kids and everything. And their kids were older though. They went to buy this house and they were looking at it and they found like KKK stuff and Confederate stuff, and they found out that the person that owned the house was a police officer. And it just became this whole citywide thing, and it's like, okay, well, here's proof right here.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
So there was I want to stop right there because we were actually, and we'll get into the rest of this podcast episode in a part 3. But I did want to touch real quick on the last thing that you heard me speak on right there. because we did talk about the Vice documentary episode expose story on the East LA Police Department in Los Angeles County Police Force that was proven to have police gangs within their ranks, and white supremacists, white nationalists, racist gangs at that. This is nothing new that we don't know, but we never was really able to prove it. And this Vice joint really does talk about it and prove it. And this was something that we kind of just talked about on the episode, and I just found it interesting because this was before I saw that in that joint. And I know Meg, you saw it too.
Yes.
That shit was deep, and it's something I think we can really run with and harp on for a while because it really does speak to the nature of, these people. Yeah. Well, I was going to say the uniforms that they switch in and out of, but yeah, same shit.
Right. And it's happening like every big city. If you know it or not, we just have to be observant.
Yes. I think when people get to the city, they see diversity and they automatically think everything's cool. But when you're talking shitty about a certain neighborhood or a certain block, like, what are you really saying? Are you really opening your eyes and seeing what's going on? Do you know the historical context of why a hood is a hood? There was a reason I went down that lane, but I digress. Anyway, Rulennis Munoz really got into stuff that not only has to do with Ricardo, but the bigger picture at large. And that is something that we do love to talk about here at the Leon Block. But she just laid it out in a way that you hear it from someone that's not a journalist, put it that way.
Exactly. Somebody who has direct impact.
Right.
Or that's been directly impacted.
Right. So it hits differently, at least for me.
100%.
So, like, what were your thoughts on this interview, or like, the case at large? We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
Of his execution. How do you feel about that, man?
This situation has made me so sad. And this family is such an amazing family. They are always willing and ready to do anything they can to help anybody. And so it makes me really sad that, there's been situations where they, felt used and, taken advantage of. And like, that's one thing, that we have to be constantly unified and, solidified in the fact that, like, they have been directly impacted. Their lives have been completely changed forever. They're traumatized. They're going to be very, I couldn't imagine, like, this is in Ricardo, for him to live 7 blocks away from the hospital that had just recently closed, with him having, a relationship per se with the officer that shot him, for the officer to not follow like a regular protocol of, having another officer with him. It just doesn't make sense. But it also did open up a door for us, just to like let you guys in. We have, since Ricardo's death, Lancaster City Police Department has assigned 2 social workers to the force. And we are not really sure how they respond to their calls. We were kind of wanting educated about it. So I was able to reach out to one of the social workers today, and we have our fingers crossed, hoping that she would come on the show just to give us a, better clarity of her position, the description, and, how they're going to change the ways of the police force, because that's what, being mentally ill, you are 16 times more likely to be shot by police. And that's a big number. And whenever police started responding to these calls instead of medical professionals, that's whenever the killings went up. So we have to, if we can't find a solution, we have to be the solution.
That's right. We will be looking for successive reports from you, Meg, about this case and what will transpire in the future. However, just to remind everyone, September 13th is the 2-year anniversary of Ricardo Munoz's execution. I just want to remind people that his life mattered. He should be here.
Right. They don't think about how many people they impacted. There's, sisters without a brother. There's a mother without a son, a father without a son,
Yep.
nieces and nephews without an uncle. Like, I'm not sure if the kids were there that day. I hope to God they weren't. But, just like the Casey Goodson video that we watched, like, it's impacted a whole lot more than just Ricardo, like, and this has to stop. We have to band together. This is so sad. He did deserve to live. What he did not, it didn't justify a life sentence for him to lose his life. There should have been, other things in place that could have protected him in that mental state of mind. But, until we can find a solution, we have to be the solution. So raise hell until you can't no more. Because
That's right.
It happens too much every single day.
I want to remind people, like you always bring up good things to remind people of, and I just want to remind people that we are not lawyers. So any topic discussed during this show is for commentary purposes only. We are not attorneys. Our opinions are not legal advice. If you have any questions, we recommend you reach out to a licensed professional. However, we do like to provide advice and give you perspective on issues that we think matter to not only just us, but everyday ordinary people. And we just want to remind you that, you're not alone in this fight. We are here for a reason. We're here to be the mouthpiece, the mic, the conduit to liberate everyone and inform everyone of what's going on in this place and that place. I keep losing my train of thought.
No, you're good. And I also wanted to add, the public defender that reached out to the mainstream media regarding this case was completely in the wrong, in my opinion. I do feel like we should post to be able to make complaints, because a lot of people don't know, the avenues to go to report, negligence or, unethical things that, lawyers do sometimes. I feel like it was not her place at all to reach out to anybody. It was,
Yes.
If the family wanted anybody to know, they should have been spoke to first. Like, that just makes me sick, because the family trusted the public defender to, make sure that everything was taken care of. They didn't ask her to reach out to the press. Like, all that did was give her clout for what?
Right.
Like,
Well,
what did she need it for?
benefit.
That's sickening.
Yeah,
That's who's representing us in the court of law. Get out of here.
Especially when you don't have money.
Right. Yeah. Like, we're having to depend on these people with our lives in, such cases as like serious crimes. That's scary.
Very.
Like, that doesn't give anybody much hope.
Is there any kind of way that people can help out anyway? Are there any kind of like requests or complaints that we can file to make sure that there's like something we could do to like back up the family more?
There are complaints that can be made through the judicial board, judicial board, and I can send you the link and we can post it in the chats as well. Lawyers are expected to be ethical, and you also have, client confidentiality, and I feel like that was broken as well.
Yeah.
They didn't ask her to call or ask her, it just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like that was so wrong morally and ethically of her to do so.
Oh, completely. But, in this county, and just like any other place, a lot of these different types of people are actually in cahoots with one another. When it may seem that they're on opposing sides, they'll be best of friends and make deals in the back room that are,
of course,
no
go to breakfast together, coffee. Right.
Exactly. And I think largely a lot of people tend to forget that, especially when you're involved in this kind of thing for mental health purposes. You're not a criminal, therefore you're not going to be privy to the system and what is going on and how you're going to be treated or what kind of sentence you get. And that's kind of the case that with Ricardo. Like, I don't think the family expected him to get house arrest, or that people would lie on his name or any of that. They expected to get him help. That is what they expected. That is what they should have expected, and that's what they should have got.
Right. And could you imagine like how a person would feel if they are the one that reached out to the police and the police came and shot and killed their family member?
Right.
Like that is traumatizing as hell.
Yes.
And we have to stand with these people. Like guilt is real, fear is real, like we have to stand behind them, and so they know that they're not alone, they're heard, they're accepted, they're validated. This is tough, it's trauma, and the only way that they can heal properly is if we listen accordingly.
True. That is the biggest thing. We have to talk, and we have to listen. We have to share connections, most of all. Period.
Resources, right?
Yes. Oh man. Again, we do have more of this episode to share with y'all, so definitely stay tuned for that. Day Moon TV says people having mental health issues need medical help, not a police visit.
Right. And what's so crazy as well, like whenever you 302 someone, which is a mental health hold, did you know that the police actually come and put them in handcuffs and put them in the police car and then take them to the hospital?
That is the last thing we need.
I seen that firsthand in 2019, and it happened to an older lady. She had gotten dementia and she had kidney failure, and she was really like, she went a little nutty. She chased me with a knife when I was pregnant with Tristan, and like it was crazy. Wow. And yeah, and they actually came to the house, 2 police officers, put her in handcuffs and put her in the back of a police car. Anybody that has mental health issues or is going through anything, that's going to raise their blood pressure, and like, stress kills you too. Hello. Like, yeah, it's crazy. She never was able to go home. She actually died in the hospital. And yeah, I mean, that's the reality of the situation.
Man, I hate to end on a somber note, but this is the reality of our world sometimes, people. Like,
right. And to not end on a somber note, this is us turning their pain into power, because we're giving them a platform to not speak on, what they did wrong, because everybody the mainstream media has already painted that picture of what was done wrong. What we are giving them an opportunity of is to shed light on the loved one's legacy and to paint a clear picture of who they was as a person, not the action that identified them.
Ooh. Spoken like a true powerhouse. Wow.
100%. I mean, as it should be. This is, these people they're human, and we all make mistakes. We all act out of anger sometimes, and we don't act accordingly. And, this is just an instance that shows, like, in a split second, your whole world can be turned upside down. So, but you got to talk about it. You have to let other people know your story, because all of these stories have similarities, and it comes down to the root of the problem, which is mental health and people not having access to healthcare or access to counselors, access to medication. Like, we all have to, come together across all lines of diversity and become one, for sure.
Yeah. Turn that pain into some
power, baby. Power.
Power, definitely. I was gonna say purpose.
100%.
Live in truth and purpose. But also, you're right. Own your power. Recognize your power.
Right. This is them having the option to become the author of their own story.
Ooh. Grab that pen, y'all, and dig in.
Yes.
Oh, shit. All right, y'all. We are going to get ready to get out of here. Remember, we will do a part 3 of this episode for the rest of the podcast with Rulennis Munoz. We do have some other episodes coming soon. Do not forget, Sunday is our State of the America podcast with the rest of our comrades from other independent media platforms. And we do have some more webisodes coming of Jalen Walker's case, and breaking that down and giving some more revelations about the case that you don't know about.
Yes.
Meg, is there anything last things you want to say real quick? You got 20 seconds.
Love, light, speed, value yourself. Self-care is everything, and have a good evening.
That's right. Make sure you meditate.
Whichever one you're watching.
Yeah, wherever you are.
Yes.
Make sure you meditate on your path, celebrate your being, liberate your spirit, and educate yourself, y'all. I'm Jontel.
And I'm Meg.
Have a good one.
See ya.